I met Lena at a time in my life when I really wasn't looking for anyone. I'd just come out of a long, messy breakup, the kind where you lose not only the person but also the version of yourself that existed with them. My days were a blur of work, microwave dinners, and aimless scrolling through dating apps I didn't really believe in. Then, one night, somewhere between boredom and self-pity, I matched with her. Her profile wasn't flashy. No over-edited selfies, no bias about loving to travel or chasing sunsets. Just a few pictures, one of her laughing on a balcony, another of her sitting cross-legged on the floor, painting. Her bio read, looking for something that feels like home. Something about it stopped me from swiping past. I sent her a message, something simple, forgettable, and she responded almost immediately. The conversation flowed easily in a way that felt rare. She had this dry humor, the kind that made me laugh out loud at my phone in public. But beyond that, she listened. She asked questions that felt intentional, remembered small details, and never seemed to run out of things to say. We talked every day for a week before meeting in person. I suggested a coffee shop downtown. She countered with a small diner she liked better, said the coffee there tastes like burnt hope but the pancakes are perfect. When I walked in, she was already there, wearing an oversized sweater and messy hair, smiling like she'd been waiting for me for years. I don't know how else to describe it except easy. We talked for hours, about music, childhood memories, our worst habits. She told me about her love for old movies and how she sometimes watched them with subtitles just to feel like she was reading poetry. I told her how I'd always wanted to move somewhere quiet, maybe by the coast, start over completely. She said, I think you will, with this strange certainty, like she already knew how my story would end. After that, we saw each other constantly. Dinner dates turned into sleepovers. Sleepovers turned into mornings spent making pancakes in my kitchen, her hair tied up with one of my t-shirts. She fit into my life so effortlessly it almost scared me. I'd wake up and find her humming to herself while feeding my cat, or leaving notes on the fridge reminding me to eat something before work. My friends noticed the change in me. I smiled more, laughed more, stopped talking about my ex. Lena was different. She wasn't clingy or demanding, at least, not at first. She made me feel seen in a way I hadn't in years, like she'd studied the blueprint of my loneliness and filled every gap. Still, there were moments that didn't quite make sense. She never talked about her family, only saying they were complicated. She didn't have social media, said she'd had bad experiences online. When I asked where she grew up, she smiled and said, here and there, as if it didn't matter. I didn't push it. Everyone has their past, I figured. One night, after we'd been seeing each other for about a month, I woke up to find her staring at me. Not in a creepy way, or at least, I didn't think so then, but quietly, like she was studying me. When she noticed I was awake, she smiled and said, you look different when you sleep. Peaceful. I laughed it off, kissed her forehead, and went back to sleep. If I'd known how many times I'd wake up to that same feeling, of her eyes already on me, I might have taken it as a warning.
Watch full video below or on my channel.